Hey, good afternoon, everyone. David Jelks here from Factor 3 Fitness and the I Am Project. I had this great conversation. I posted it just a couple of days ago around exercise, exercise before health. And of course, the conversation is around, well, if I want to get healthy, I should exercise. But what we fail to realize, of course, that exercise is a form of stress. And we have to look at our current health status to decide at what level of intensity and what form of exercise is best suited for us. So quite often, of course, what we'll see is people moving into exercise programs that are way above their pay grade, as it were. And they don't have the nutritional foundation to actually recover from that kind of work. Why people enjoy it, I believe, is that if we look at a world that's caught in a fight or flight, or fight, flight, or numb syndrome. So it's this HPA axis, the hypothalamus, pituitary, adrenal axis. Our stress circuit is cranked on full time all the time. And this, of course, is a very well established conversation. In fact, of course, in our modern society, where we become so accustomed to stress, we just think it's normal. And the problem with living in that stress circuit for long periods of time is that what ends up happening is that when we let's say we're having a challenging day or a challenging life, as it were, and we head out and we get into a program, and let's say it's a HIIT program at your local gym, and kind of a boot camp style, and it feels really good. You walk into there feeling elated, your endorphins are high, and you're going, this is exactly what I need. So what ends up happening, of course, is that through the activity, you flush out a lot of the circulating hormones and the neurochemicals in your body, so you dilute them and dissipate them, so of course you will feel better. Exercise by itself stimulates a lot of really beautiful, powerful hormones that will make you feel better. There's things it actually helps to alleviate depression through the production of something called BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factors. There's all these beautiful things that go on. But the thing that is being failed to be addressed time and time again is that all these things to occur, there's a nutritional cost to it. And there's got to be space for recovery. So if your current diet/lifestyle is not sufficient to give you the life, the health that you want now, how is adding more stress in the form of exercise going to be beneficial if you do not make the effort or even spend the time looking at sleep hygiene and nutritional supplementation? Now, I want to give you something to think about here really quickly. So if we look at the prevailing theory is that about every 7 years, all our cells in our body are brand new. So we recycle, rejuvenate every cell in the body. And of course, that's trillions upon trillions of cells. So let's say from ground zero, from the day you're born to the age of 7, that's one full cycle of growth. Now, depending on the nutritional environment, how you were raised, of course, that will depend on what the cells are being made from. The quality of your cells, the quality of your immune system, the quality of all the structures of your body. From the age of 7 on to 14, that's one another full 7-year cycle. And of course, now that cycle of replication is being based on, of course, the genetic code that you have, what you did with it according to your nutrition, your environment. Of course, we call this epigenetic controls, right? So your environment really has a powerful way of telling your body how to unfold, how to express itself. So we got another 7 years, so we got now 14 years, so it's 2 full replication cycles of every cell in your body. And what was happening in that time? What was the nutritional environment like, right? Were you active? Were you inactive? Was there a lot of stress in your environment? Right, so we hit the age of 14. Then from 14, of course, to 21, there's another 7-year cycle. What occurred in that period of time? And when we look at most of the physical disorders that take people out, and we call these lifestyle created disorders, and it generally doesn't happen always very early. Now, of course, stand corrected. We're seeing more things that used to only affect seniors now affecting our children, right? So Crohn's disease, ulcerative colitis, diverticulitis, right? Just a lot of disorders that are really affecting, they're coming further down the chain genetically because we're becoming weaker and weaker. Our genetic code is actually being almost diluted down by these poor replication cycles year after year and generation to generation. So if you are, let's say you're 40 years old and of course you're into the 7-year cycle numerous times, right? So you replicated your entire cellular structure based on the nutrition, lifestyle, and the overall emotional environment of your life, right? Even the toxic environment of your life, depending where you live. If you live in a city, or you live in an agricultural environment, and of course your groundwater is being tainted and polluted by chemical fertilizers and everything that's being done in commercial farm lots. So that's the exposure. So all these prevailing factors outside of you are, of course, telling your body what to do and how to replicate. And your body is amazing. It'll do what it can. But so let's say you're 40 years old, you're 40-some years old, and now you're going to try to get into shape. And you want to get healthy, right? Get into shape. So let's say even the last 14 years were probably pretty bad. Right. So before that, you were doing good, but as life went on, you got busy and you had kids and you had a career. And so the last 14 years was actually kind of a downgrade of your genetic code, a downgrade of your cellular structure, because the replication of your cells, of course, could only happen based on the material that you were offering and the environment mentally and physically that you were also creating for your internal environment. So you have 14 years of actually downgrades, right, inside the body. Now, part of the challenge is that, so let's say, for example, let's make an easy reference. So let's say you come up and say, hey, Dave, can you help a brother out? I'm $1 million in debt, right? The last 14 years really has put me in debt. So obviously we're talking about nutritional debt, but just for the sake of illustration, I think the point can be made this way. So $1 million in debt. I say, listen, okay, I tell you what, I got you covered. I have a friend who manages Starbucks. And we're going to have a job. You can work 7 days a week, right? So I know you need the money, and we're going to pay you $12 an hour, right? 8 hours a day, 7 days a week, man, you're gold. So you have good stuff coming in, right? So you have good stuff coming in, every day. You got the money coming in. But what will that $12 an hour, right? And those 7 day a week shifts, what will that do to $1 million debt load? Nothing. Right, so what ends up happening is that money just barely allows you to survive. Maybe pay your portion of the rent. You might get your cell phone paid for. Can't afford a car, so you got to take the bus. So you look at ourselves nutritionally. If we're nutritionally bankrupt and 14 years of downgrading the quality of our cells, the quality of our immune system, the quality of our ability to function and to replicate. How long do you think it will actually take to fill that nutritional debt? So you may say, well, listen, hey, Dave, I'm eating kale, right? I'm eating healthy. Yeah, but healthy food, if you look at historically, healthy food, even organic food, because we used to just call that food, but now we have a distinction, which is kind of odd. But I grew up on a hobby farm, and we didn't call it organic, we just called it food. But we actually operated under real farming practices, not what we do today. So even if you're eating really healthy food was only designed to do what? Support a healthy organism. It was not designed to drag the organism out of the grave. So even with our healthy diets, and this is where the real food is, it's kind of missed the point. And I get the idea, and so I'm not critical of it. I just think it's just a little bit short-sighted because, again, healthy food is designed to keep a healthy organism healthy and stable. But it wasn't designed to take an unhealthy organism and pull it out of the grave. Right, so the use of supplementation. I'm a chartered herbalist as part of my certifications and accreditations. And you think about herbalism, that's been around forever. So even in the world, long before organic foods ever had to become organic foods, long before the garbage ended up in the environment, we always use supplements of some sort. We've always used some sort of a secondary treatment to, of course, help support the body when the body is being challenged, even in the healthiest of times. So how much more so today when you think about being in that 14-year nutritional deficit? How much time will it take? Eating organic is great if you can afford it. But the use of supplementation, which I have done for 25 years, is probably one of the reasons I remain as healthy as I do. I'm at 54, I've got a little bit of gray going on here, but very little. My skin is good, my health is good, my cognition is good. I recover from exercise well. Because I invest heavily into my nutritional strategies and, of course, into my lifestyle overall to ensure that, of course, at 64, all that's going to change is a few more wrinkles and maybe a little bit more gray here as I go along. But otherwise, biologically, I'm a healthy machine. I'm a healthy unit. So again, if you're thinking about moving from an unhealthy diet and moving to a healthier one, or going from an unhealthy lifestyle and adding exercise, make sure you really explore not only eating better, which is truly, truly important. Of course, supplementation is only to supplement a good diet. You don't want to supplement a garbage diet, but certainly organize your dietary behavior so it's better than what was before. Not looking for perfection, but really look at a very quality supplementation to fill in the blanks. And I think you'll find that an easier way to do it, because what that nutritional supplementation will give you a very dense nutritional load that you can't get from real food anymore. And again, certainly the quality and the nutritional density of knife and fork food, even if it was at its peak, still wouldn't be enough to drag the average unhealthy person far enough out of the nutritional hole. So eating healthy foods and the use of dense nutritional supplementation, I think, is a massive winning combination. And I think we're really remiss not to explore that as a part of our overall strategy, because I think that's where a lot of failure is. All right, so that's my 2 bits, and again, always appreciate the dialogue. And again, remember, this is not not medical direction. I'm not telling you how to run your life. It's just food for thought. But even our food for thought needs a little bit of density as well.